World Health Organization is proposing a new international pandemic treaty that would allow it to take over the executive powers of member states, who would then become mere executing bodies. Is this treaty really useful? And what about national sovereignty and basic human rights? International health regulations with a strong human rights component already exist and were adopted in 2005 by 196 countries, including Switzerland. It came into force in 2007 and is intended to respond to pandemic emergencies. However, it was not used during the COVID crisis. The WHO definition of a pandemic has evolved in recent years. Until 2009, a pandemic occurred when a new virus appeared for which the human population had no immunity, resulting in numerous simultaneous epidemics around the world with huge numbers of deaths and sick people. Morbidity and mortality were therefore the conditions for a pandemic. In May 2009, the definition was revised so that it no longer depended on the severity of the disease nor on mortality, but only on a global spread of cases of the disease. The latter definition assumes recurrent waves and different phases. Thus, each annual wave of influenza could be declared a pandemic. With this treaty, based on cases alone, the WHO could declare pandemics. Declarations which of course activate contracts with vaccine manufacturers, and could also impose dehumanizing measures such as lockdowns, costly, dangerous and/or ineffective treatments, mandatory vaccination programs, testing regimes, imposing medical interventions, dictating public health practices, and all this against the will of the population and even against the advice of the governments that will have already signed this treaty. WHO's activities are unfortunately not carried out in a transparent fashion, and this is made worse by the existence of secret emergency committees of experts. The WHO has significant conflicts of interest. It receives public funding from the member states, which includes taxpayer money, and they also receive significant funding from private interests, including pharmaceutical companies, that use their contributions to influence and profit from WHO decisions and mandates. This new pandemic treaty poses a serious threat to the sovereignty of member states and to basic human rights. Therefore, Renfort Santé Suisse International invites you to sign the open letter so that we, doctors, caregivers, health professionals, and citizens can declare our strong opposition to the implementation of such a global agreement.